It says we are live, so let's see if we magically appear in there. Do you see ourselves yet on?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good morning and good afternoon to everybody. It's morning on the West Coast. Let's see, Carla, what time is it where you are?
It's noon Central Time, and the East Coast, so they're into their afternoon already.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't really see us yet, but I know there's a big lag a lot of times between my phone and the computer, which is always kind of odd to me because it's like, really? It's right here. But yeah. All right. So do you see anybody coming on yet? Oh, good morning, Deb. Good morning, Tammy. Great to see you guys this morning. Wherever you are, Deb, I know you are in BC. And so hopefully it's a little cooler today. Is it cooler up there today? It's like we have had crazy heat here. We set records in the Seattle area, and it was just insane. It's like here in Seattle, it's, we're either too hot or too cold. We function in kind of this wet, kind of damp, rainy stuff. And if it's too hot, we die. And if it's too cold, we die. It's just hilarious. We just have this range that we just, function in. And if we go outside of that, then, it is. It's really funny. Okay. Oh, 19 Celsius. Oh, that's nice. So 19 C is about, perfect. That's about 70 Fahrenheit. So I keep a thermometer up above my desk here that I can easily convert Celsius to Fahrenheit because I can't remember how to do it in my head. So it's easy to look. So I love that because I have friends all over the world. And so it's really nice to be able to go, what temperature? Thank God we only have 2 temperature scales, right? So good morning again, everyone, and thanks for hopping in this morning. And so we are going to talk about branding today. And I don't know about you, but when I have an image of branding, I always think of cattle. and getting out the branding stick and like stamping on there. And it's so funny because when I first heard about branding, I couldn't get over like, what the heck is this? Carla, did you have any sort of preconceived notions about branding?
No, just in the sense of like I had known what it was in the corporate world, and then what does it look like for a personal brand? And so that's what's been really exciting for me and going through all this, which we want to share with you guys today, of what really answering that question for you. What does personal branding look like, especially in the online space, especially on all the various platforms, especially for you and your business. So that's what we want to dive into today, and excited to share some of our own personal experiences along the way as well.
Yes, and I promise we're not going to hold a branding stick, and heat it up in the fire and, and then tattoo something on you. So, but that's what I grew up with. And so branding yourself on social media was such a new concept to me that it was really kind of weird. I had to kind of, get over that. And now I crack up because it's like, oh yeah. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so window. There we are. Oh, Carla, I think I did it. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go to, there we are. So can you guys see this? So let me know if you can see this.
Yeah, let us know in the chat, you guys, where you're tuning in from. Say hello. Let us know you're here. And then, we want to dive right into this today.
Yes. And Carla, can you see my screen? Oh, yep. Yeah, it looks like it's coming. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome to, Social Networking Professionals. And I love this group because every Thursday, different people come in and do a training. And it is so exciting to be able to introduce people into this group. And I love showing people all the training that we have in here because it's absolutely phenomenal. And I know this has been a game changer for so many. So today we're really going to talk about how to build your personal brand and skyrocket your business based on your personal brand. So, Carla, go ahead.
Yeah, so Molly and I are excited to be here today. Just a little bit about who we are. So Molly and I have been in network marketing for a combined 15 years. So no strangers to this industry by any means. We both build entirely online using attraction marketing. We are physically and mentally on fire. I know Molly is an avid runner, very passionate about health and wellness. We're both moms. At different stages of mom life, but both moms, so we can definitely relate to all the moms out there that are building their businesses online. We are part of a fast-growing group of network marketing professionals. The past year, we've both been leaders in one of the fastest growing companies in this industry. We've both ranked advanced actually a total of 9 times in the last year. So that is exciting. It's fun. And really something that Molly and I are really passionate about is just helping others achieve that success too. And that's really what we want to do today is help you guys, give you the tools and techniques to skyrocket your brand, to build online, and to have success in your business. And we're, like I said in the last bullet point there, we're very passionate about helping people achieve their dreams because that's what it's really all about.
Absolutely. And please, if you have questions along the way, don't hesitate to drop in questions or comments as we go. We love being able to interact. It's much more fun and engaging that way. So please feel free to drop comments, questions as we go through. So let's get started. So is this training right for you? If you have ever been told that you need a personal brand but were left confused by what that really meant, this is for you. And I will tell you, yeah, that was me, because I'm like, as I say, all I could think of was the branding sticks, right? If you've ever thought that you could find Rockstar recruits by posting about your products and opportunity, and if you're confused about who your target market might be and why, knowing that is the foundation to a great content marketing strategy. And I know often we've been taught to, talk to everybody. And we think that everybody is our prospect. And I know once I started learning about branding that I realized that not everybody is my target market. It was like, oh, that was such a new concept.
So here's a couple of tips for today's session to maximize your time. Your time is valuable, and we want to make sure that you maximize the benefit of this time that you're investing. So be present in the next few minutes and take notes. Get out a pen and paper. I don't know the statistic, but there's only a certain % of things that we hear that we retain. If you write it down, that will significantly go up. So let's maximize the best use of your time. Turn off your cell phones and be really present and engaged in the conversation. Like Molly said, we want to be here to answer your questions. There's a lot of questions that come up when it comes to branding. I know Molly had some, I had a lot of questions. So drop those questions in the chat below. We're happy to answer your questions. Ask questions and engage, and then just stay awesome and positive. We love to keep this group positive. It's about uplifting others and really just having some fun along the way as well.
Absolutely. So first thing is go to where the people are. And it was really interesting. Carla and I were doing a little research last night, and we kind of updated a couple numbers. Facebook has 2.85 billion monthly active users, and about 1.7 billion people log onto Facebook daily all over the world. Facebook Messenger has about 1.3 billion people using that every single month. Instagram has 1 billion daily active users, and TikTok, which was, oh goodness, how long has TikTok been around? It's not been around that long, but it already has over 1 billion users. And so instead of having to go to the malls, like we used to do, and some of these things, you can use social media to create your own personal brand using these social media platforms. And you don't have to use all of them. You can start with one and get, good on one before navigating another, which I highly suggest to do, because sometimes starting out with all of them gets really overwhelming, and I know I did. So I would pick one of these to get good at and then branch out to the others. Carla, do you have any comments on that? Do you have any favorites?
Well, I love numbers, so I love this slide just to give you guys kind of that overview of like what the potential is. Like you mentioned malls, Molly, like I wonder how many malls you'd have to visit to have 1 billion people or 2.85 billion users on a monthly basis. Like how many malls would we physically have to go to get that kind of reach? So that's a big change, like how this industry used to operate years ago to where we are today. So it gives us these platforms, these 4 unique platforms to really be able to reach people. But what we want to do in the next few minutes is hone in on that. We're not going to ask you, nor do we want you to try to talk to 2.85 billion people. Imagine the differences of 2.85 billion people. And the really key point here is if you're trying to talk to all of 2.85, you will talk to nobody. So that's what we want to do. We want to hone in on that. But I love those numbers, Molly, because it gives us a sense of what the potential really is in this online space and how you can really maximize your time. It would take you would never physically be able to go to that many malls to reach that number of people. And we just want to help you critique that, hone in on it to maximize that reach.
Absolutely. And you know what? Here in Washington State, we have had, pretty stringent COVID restrictions. And so there's no way we could even go to a mall. Right. So thankfully, I know, Carla, you and I both learned to build using social media. And I'm going, oh my gosh, what a great gift that is. So really kind of here's a little bit of how we got here. So for me, I've had years in network marketing doing things the traditional way, which was literally going to the malls and trying to talk to people. We'd have friends and family join and then we'd quit. And I remember buying lists, attending meetups, coffee meetings. I even did this thing where it was basically cold calling, where I was giving lists of people to call. And it was like, I absolutely hated it, but that's what we did because that's what we were taught in order to make it, but I really wanted a home-based business that was actually built from home. And also there's a lot of times we enroll and you don't get any duplication because people quit as fast as they sign in. And I just felt like, how can I even compete out there on social media? Because there's a lot of noise out there, right? And cold market prospects were skeptical because they didn't know us. My business was always moving backwards. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many times where I really wanted to take my vision board and literally cut it up into little pieces and put it in a box and tuck it away, thinking that this was never going to work. And there we are. So thank goodness we didn't, huh?
Yeah. So drop us a note in the comments if any of these resonate with you. Just drop us a 1 or a wow. Let us know if these resonate with you. The one that you touched on, Molly, that really resonates with me is having a home-based business. So when I first got started in this industry, I was doing a lot of parties and events, vendor shows, those types of things. So it didn't really feel like a home-based business because I was gone a lot. And it just caused a lot of guilt, being a mom with young kids, being away at night or on the evenings, or the vendor shows were the worst, where I never knew what I was going to get, and spending 8 hours on my feet away from my family and talking to complete strangers that really had little interest in what I had to offer, because again, you're standing in front of random people that you haven't honed in on, that you might not be your target audience. So that was something that when I first was introduced to this group last year, when we started talking about how to do this, how to brand yourself online, maximize your space, break through the noise online, that really resonated with me, because it seemed like a better use of my time.
Absolutely. And I remember years ago, this was years ago, my husband and I were in a business together, and we had so many, and granted, this was a little before social media. So I'm not, trying to, point fingers or anything, but we had meetings almost every single night of the week that we were expected to be at. And I honestly don't know how people did it with kids, because they were expected to get babysitters and expected to be there. And it was like, oh my gosh. So thankfully things have changed quite a bit. So, yeah. So here's, Carla, I'll let you talk about this one.
So here's what we did on social media back a few years ago when we were first getting started. We posted about our products all over social media, links, companies. We changed our profile to include the company that we're with. We shared company-sponsored produced videos on our personal profiles. And then there was some spamming going on in groups and products and opportunities. It was really this mindset of like leading with your product and your company. And I still see that some today. And I don't fault people for that. You do the best you can with what you know. So we're just here to help you with that. But people get really passionate about their company, and it's just really hard to not vomit, but we're going to help you try to not do that. And there's a reason for that. We want to lead with value as opposed to the company.
And that's where it comes to, again, branding yourself so that you feel confident in who you are, so that you don't always have to talk about your products, which is kind of cool. It was like, that was such a new concept. So here's what actually ended up happening. Some of our friends actually unfriended us. Yep, I've had that happen. We got negative comments about the industry being a scam and a pyramid. And I know that still happens today, because a lot of people are very, very skeptical. Very few people bought our products, and no one wanted to join us. And we kind of became spammers without even knowing it, but we were just doing what we were told to do. And I will tell you that I actually feel kind of bad for some of the things that I did. But it's like, that's what we were told to do, right? So we did. And as I mentioned before, I just so many times felt like quitting on my dreams altogether.
So what is the big deal about branding anyway? It's the way that businesses are really built. If you think about Apple or North Face or Mercedes-Benz, branding, and it's nothing new to the business industry by any means. It showcases what you stand for, the value you offer, and what you're known for. If you really think about some of those well-known brands, people can recognize them just by their logo. They have value just by their presence. But it really comes down to know, like, and trust. Brands are built, and therefore companies are built based on the ability for people to know, like, and trust them. Your brand becomes top of mind when people are looking for what you have. So if you are in the health and wellness space, and people are looking for something in health and wellness, when you have a strong brand, you're the first that comes to mind. When we have runners, for example, Nike comes to mind for avid runners. They develop that know, like, and trust. And when you do that really well, you also develop a strong sense of loyalty. And wouldn't it be awesome if you had repeat customers? So not only do you get that one-time purchase, but people come to know you, like you, and trust you, so that it results in repeat business. because if you're just doing one-time purchases all the time, you'll get exhausted. And the point of most people get into this business in this industry for residual income, and that really comes from repeat customers, not just the first sale. So branding, it's really critical for a sustainable business. Molly,
Absolutely. Okay, so 5 golden rules to creating a Rockstar personal brand. Okay, so here we go. Oh, something's making a noise here, so hopefully you guys can't hear that. So golden rule number 1, have focus. Keeping your message focused for your target demographic will make it that much easier to both create content around your personal brand and have others define you. And when we talk about that, so for example, you may have a lot of products in your company, but this is where you can sort of pick one that really resonates with you and focus on that so that you are basically creating solutions for people. So for example, let's say you have a weight loss product, because that's always kind of easy to use. So if you have a weight loss product, that is really with the health and wellness industry. So you want to become known for basically weight loss and promoting a healthier lifestyle, so that when you are posting and doing your posts, you want to kind of be consistent with that content. And that doesn't mean that you don't post about other things, because I love posting pictures of my family and things that we do, because that shows more of who you are. But you're keeping your message focused for your target demographic. So you're going to really be talking about that health and weight loss. Okay, so keep your message and content consistent to that one niche topic to become memorable, because you want people to remember you and go, oh, she's the one that had this great weight loss product, or she's the one that might be able to help me with, this topic or this information. So the narrower and more focused your brand is, the easier it is for people to remember who you are. And this is where it gets a little tricky too, because you go, oh my gosh, what do you have to focus on? And so this is where I would really sit down and take a few minutes with some paper and pencil and go, what is it that you want to focus on, and be really clear on that. So I'd be curious if you have a niche, or your niche topic. I'd love to just see people post what that is below, whether it's a health and wellness, whether it's skin care, hair care, you name it, care. I mean, I would just love to see what some of people's niche topic is. Okay.
Yeah. All right, golden rule number 2 is to be genuine. Show up as your authentic self, you guys. People will know if you're not being authentic, and the world needs you as your authentic self. So do not try to be anybody except yourself. It's an easy way to create an original brand. There is no other you. So there is no way that you have to worry about being redundant or anything, as long as you're showing up as your authentic self. Be genuine. People can see through if you're not being authentic, but show up as you times 2. And the reason that we say that is because being online in this space, people want to see you, but you might need to talk a little bit louder. You might need to talk with a little bit more animation. You might need to talk with a little bit more bounce in your step, right? Molly's great at this, which is why it makes it so fun to watch and listen to Molly. You don't want to talk like this and be really soft. And nope, like you will put people to sleep. So bring your energy, have an energy drink or something. Just make sure you're showing up as your authentic self times 2, and really do that. And the good news here for all those introverts, myself included, it is a little bit easier to be more outgoing on social media. There's so many different tricks and tips I could give you guys for being an introverted person on social media, but it is a little bit easier, and there's ways to do that. I do want to know, kind of based on everybody that's on today, where are my introverts at? Where are the extroverts at? Drop us a note in the comments. I'd love to see what we have online today. Do we have more introverts or extroverts? So let us know what you are in the comments.
You know what's funny about that is people would never guess that I am really a good half introvert, because people go, oh my gosh, there's no way. But I will tell you that there is, after a day, and I'm a part-time teacher, after my day of teaching, it's like I just want to come home and go upstairs to my room, and it's like, don't even talk to me for a while. Because it's like you need to, and I think people are really sort of a mix between extrovert and introvert. I think there are some people that are total introverts and some people that are total extroverts. And then I think there's a lot of us that are really half and half. And just to recognize that it doesn't mean you have to be one or the other. But I know there are times that I need to really reset and allow myself to have some downtime. And when I'm on social media, a lot of times I think of it as, for example, being in my classroom, I need to show up, and it's like you're putting on a little show. And it doesn't mean that you're inauthentic, because I always want to be me, but you are showing up with some energy, with some enthusiasm, because people get excited about that, and then they want to see you, which is kind of cool and kind of scary at the same time.
Yeah, so we have a lot of people online. I just want to say hello to Angela and Yolanda, Jason, hello, Deb's in the health and wellness space. Hello, Renee, Christy is here. Heather, she's an introvert. Andrea, total introvert, she says. Rosemary, she's an extrovert. So we have a little bit of a mix. So hello, everyone. Thanks for jumping on today.
All right. Absolutely.
All right. So golden rule number 3 when it comes to building a Rockstar brand on social media is to tell your story. Stories sell, you guys. People want to know about you. This is a way also to show up as your authentic self. The most effective branding the most effective branding tool is to tell stories. It's the number one strategy these days. It's just super powerful. It gets people to know you, that know, like, and trust again. No one wants to hear about theories or, that business jargon. They really want to know personal stories, personal success stories, personal struggles. They want to know it all. So, here we have a couple examples here, a funny recruiting story, traveling, how your DMO changed, your why, health journey. I shared a post earlier this week on some of the mom struggles that I've had recently, and it's just a way to tell my story, hopefully inspire other moms, and just know that, we're going to have bumps along the way, and we have to pick ourselves up and move on. So, being a little bit vulnerable in your storytelling helps you be relatable as well.
It does. And it's interesting for me too, because I have a science background. And so science is, we're always like telling the facts, right? Boom, 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 boom. And I have had to really learn to get away from that and learn how to actually tell my story. And to tell a story doesn't mean your life story, okay? So this is about your sort of daily things that happen. And Carly, you gave such a great example. I know we talked about that last night, some of those mom struggles that we have. And struggles in our business. I'm going to share one because because a lot of times these are the things that we don't hear about. But I sponsored somebody not long ago, and she was excited. And then, I tried to reach out to help get her going, and she had unfriended me and blocked me. And it's like, and you go, okay, because those things happen. It's like going on you're out in your car and all of a sudden you have a flat tire or your engine blows or something like that, because those are stories, those are things that happen. And a lot of times we want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, because people then can relate to that. It's hard sometimes to share those personal icky things, but because we're sometimes afraid of that. But people need to know that that those things happen, right? And they do. Welcome to Business 101. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times, in my earlier, career, I've been a waitress and all these things where, things happen, right? It's not all just rosy. People don't just leave you, the most stellar tips and all this stuff, right? Things happen. So, and they become funny, right? Okay. Golden rule number 4. Consistency. Okay, being consistent is very similar to having a narrow focus. It's much easier to get recognized for one topic if you consistently create content and brand voice around it. So again, this is where you need to sit down and go, what do you want to be known for? Besides your product, what do you want to be known for? Okay, think about who you are, what makes you unique and different, and then every day post accordingly. So Carla mentioned earlier that I am a runner. And so a lot of times, and I love health and wellness. So I am constantly posting things about my running, things that I'm doing to improve my body, whether it's just, what I'm doing physically or things that I am taking. I love being positive and being encouraging to people. And again, so I'm wrapping my brand around those things that I really want to be known for and being consistent about doing that. Is being consistent easy? No, because it's so easy to get derailed with things, right? But learning to be consistent is probably one of the most important things that you can do. Okay, it's kind of like if you have to show up Monday through Friday for your job and you know that you need to be there, you have to kind of do this the same way, going, I need to get my postings done. Okay. Carla, do you have any suggestions for consistency? Now that I'm kind of sorry, I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but what are some things that have helped you just to work on that consistency? Because I think you're great at that.
I think it's a little bit planful and deliberate. So if you can batch content at all, that's going to help you tremendously from a time saving standpoint. But Molly hit it exactly right. Like consistency is like, if I could rate in order of importance, I mean, consistency is right up there at the top. It's so important for building online, because when you develop that know, like, and trust with people, which by the way, isn't easy to do, it takes some time. You don't want to lose that, and people will start to know, like, and trust you and expect you to show up. So don't run into the issue with having taken the time to be consistent and then fall off and then expect that you're going to jump right back into it. People come to know, like, and trust you and expect you. So give them what they're looking for. It's really powerful. Batching content is one way to do that. And yeah, super important.
Absolutely. And you know what has helped me, because as a teacher, I'm kind of a planner. And so one thing I try and sit down and do on a Sunday night is kind of plan out some things that I want to post for that week. And sometimes I'm really good at that, and sometimes I'm not so much. But I love being able to kind of plan out an idea or the theme for the week, because otherwise I feel like I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, let's see if this sticks, so yeah. Okay.
So the last rule, golden rule number 5, when it comes to building a rockstar brand on social media, is be okay with failing at first. So throw perfection out the window. Starting to get stuff out there on your social media. If you are just starting, something is better than nothing when you're getting started. It's hard. It's hard to, fail forward. It's part of an entrepreneurship journey. I can't think of anybody that's successful in this industry that hasn't failed first. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. And when you look back on it, you will learn to become grateful for your failure points because they help you grow faster. Than you just imagine if everything was always, perfect. You wouldn't get the in-depth, you wouldn't get the grit, you wouldn't get the, the perseverance muscles built. So failure, fail forward, fail often and fail quickly and pick yourself up and get right back at it. You'll never achieve the best branding until you fail a couple of times first. You have to push forward. You have to push fast. You can think of anybody that's successful in business, in life. They failed first. Albert Einstein failed first. Um, you know, um, Tom Brady, take that sort of example. He failed a lot. Nobody was looking at him. Nobody wanted him, but he was just going to outwork everybody else. And in terms of, not having the expertise, we're giving you a little bit here today, but, this isn't everything. And, the point is to get into action. And if you outwork people, you will rise to the top for sure. So, anything else to add to that, Molly? This one's big too.
I have been reading a book by Darren Hardy called The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. And this morning I was reading a little bit in that, and the key to success is massive failure. So your goal is to out-fail your competition. And there's a lot to that because he really talked about how a pendulum will swing back and forth. And I really resonated this because so often, as I talked about, earlier with the weather in Seattle, how we kind of tend to live in this narrow, weather view. We tend to do that in our lives as well. We try not to swing too far back and forth because we go, oh, I don't want to swing too far over this way and fail. And sometimes even success is scary. So we just kind of do this, and never reach, far one way or the other. But we've got to have massive failure. We've got to swing that pendulum a little farther to the left in order to get it to the right, and so your brand is going to grow with you. So don't be afraid that you go, oh my gosh, and this was me, to tell you the truth. I thought, oh, I've got to come up with something and that's what it's going to be for the rest of my life. And it's like, no, it's not. It's okay. Your brand is going to grow as you grow. So don't feel like you have to have like this magical answer. It's just your brand is going to grow as you grow.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Molly, because on my business page, I have a welcome video, and I don't like my welcome video, to be honest. Like, it was one of the first things I did getting my business page up. I really don't like it, but I haven't changed it because it's a reminder to me of how far I've come. So right, wrong, or indifferent, but it's easy to want to delete things, to change things as you grow, but they also serve as reminders of how far you've come. And sometimes we forget to look back to see how far we've come, and those can be really good motivators too to keep going, because you sometimes that consistency factor can be slow over time until you look backwards and then you see, wow, I really have come a long way. So
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Cynthia Simmons. I think she is, new in our social networking professional group, and I think watching for the first time. So welcome, Cynthia. She's an old friend. So are you ready to create your own Rockstar brand? And if so, comment ready below. And go ahead, Carla.
I was just gonna say, if these things are sounding like something that you'd like a little help with, your focus, your consistency, we can give you a lot more tips on how to be consistent and how to really hone in on your target, narrow your reach. If those are things that you would like a little bit of help with, comment strategy below, and one of our team members within Social Networking Professionals will reach out to you and offer you a free 15-minute coaching session to really help you get clear on that. It can be super powerful. I know when I did that, it really provided a lot of clarity to me. So want to offer that to you guys to take advantage of so that you can continue to move forward, because that's what we're about here.
Absolutely. And I'm going to close out of that.
So let us know in the comments, you guys, are there any lingering questions that you have? And if you do have questions, go ahead and comment strategy below. If you'd like to take those questions offline, you can certainly do that. But I'm not seeing any comments here in the post, Molly.
Yeah,
so
we've got, so Rosemary's strategy, awesome. You're ready. I will, yeah, it's so exciting. We will have to set up a time to do that. Deb, fantastic. Great. I think we're getting some great comments down here. So please, yeah, we would just love to help you. So please feel free to reach out to either Carla and I, or especially whoever invited you to this group to connect. We don't want anybody to feel left out or lost, because again, we are just here to help you. So I just want to say thank you, Carla, for doing this morning. I love working with you. It is so fun. And we have such a good time dabbing as we put this together. So I just want to let you know, I really appreciate you and so thankful that we're here together. So
thank you, Molly. You're always bringing your energy to anything that we do. It's really fun to do this together. So
it's so fun. So thanks, everyone. And again, feel free to reach out and have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.